feel glad to be on this call. Dor, thank you for initiating this with me. I don't even remember how it went, but we have been, Dor and I, and sometimes with Dimitra, have been meeting on weekly for several weeks now, as Dor originates the game world of Nomadica. And I've been coming because I am a nomad. I'm a Next Culture Nomad. And when I really think about how that is and how it came to be, what I noticed is that I've been a Next Culture Nomad for a lot longer than I have been traveling around, delivering Next Culture distinctions, tools, maps, and processes to other Next Culture emerging, awakening villagers. And this is the name I've given to my work, Awakening the Village. And this call is my sense about this call is it's really the next call that is something that Dor and I and maybe each of you can share with our circles to bring more clarity to more people who may already be Next Culture Nomads, may already be villagers, may already be edge workers who are like zooming in digitally and physically to spaces around the world to bring Next Culture distinctions to more people, more places. And my name, for the people who are watching this recording, my name is Nicole Hartley Bradford. And right now I'm in Western Canada, just north of the city Calgary, on a project called the 𝕟𝑚𝑝𝑙𝑒 Land Project, which is brand new. And it is also, it's on the edge of modern culture. There are still many, many Next Culture distinctions and tools and maps missing from this space that I am longing to and feeling angry to not be having them drawn through quite yet. And this is where I'm calling from today. Dor, can you share about you and about where you're calling from and your purpose for being here? And then when you're finished, will you pass it to somebody else?
Yes, thank you. My name is Dor Sharabi. I am currently in a land called Israel, city of Tel Aviv. And I've been here for 8 months since my last nomadic journey around the world, which is where I got deeper with PM programs. And I have
Dor,
this box.
Dor, can you quickly say something about PM programs? Because
yes, possibility management is what we say in short, PM. And it's about, and so the programs are about initiation for adulthood and transformation. And they're different from self-development or new age programs because they are about meeting your shadow side and doing that as a community, not as a paramedical institute or I don't know, like a new agey kind of group. So my box is about being a lone wolf. Like the way my mind works is like, I'm going to be a nomad by myself. I'm going to go around the world. I'm just going to get a handle of things. I'm going to somehow survive that. I'm going to get along. And my need for starting Nomadica, which is a nano nation, it's a game world or like a Next Culture community with a different purpose, with clarity in its purpose. Can you mute Jonathan, Nicole?
I did. Go.
Thank you. So the need for me is to do it together, to do it with people, to go around the world, deliver that thing that we are here for to do. It can be different for each person, and yet there is a somehow common purpose to that, to create Next Culture and to create these transformational spaces for ourselves and for other people, and to do it in a sustainable way, or in a thriving even way, because I learned that when I do it by myself, everything becomes so difficult, and I noticed that there is like a huge advantage of doing this as a group, but we are as nomads, we usually, I don't know what I found, it we don't really think like a group as doing this journey as a group. So this is what this is about, and for me this call is also about like exploring these ways to do it, or these technologies to do it in a way that is not like making it terrible or survival for us. And I'm a Next Culture adventuring space holder. That's what I'm taking a stand for here. Thank you. And I pass it to Dimitra.
Hello, again, I am Dimitra, and right now I'm calling from Portugal. Like I am in the borders next to Sevilla, and Sevilla, and I am traveling. I left Greece 1.5 years ago, and right now I am in a place that it could be possible to become a bridge house. And right now, yeah, like the name of the place I am is called Casa Fluxus. And yes, and I am 3 days here. And yeah, it's like it's excited and challenging already to be in a new place, like to a new context. And yeah, it's like first time I'm in a project that I am here from the beginning of the project. And this, yeah, that has some, yeah, it's another level of responsibility that it's my first time I jump in and be here from the beginning. So this is where I am right now. Yes. And thank you. And I passed yes, to I don't know how to say it. I passed the 𝕨𝕐𝕚 in Jorge.
To Jorge.
Órale.
And
My name
Melissa.
is,
Excuse
yeah,
me.
Melissa's right here next to me. My name is Jorge, and I've been traveling for the last 8 years, 9 years. I actually, yeah. Right now I'm in a place called Vancouver Island, and we've been here for the last 3 years. Looking for a place of community, looking for a place to raise our family. And in the meantime, like at the same time, we've been holding that space of nomadic people. We haven't been able to find a place for the family and a place for community, and we have been in a few different places. We started a family about 4 to 5 years ago, and we were traveling as well. We were already being nomadic people for at least three years before that, before we started our family. And after starting the family, it all completely changed. We thought there was different plans that came about. I'm holding the space and I'm taking a stand for the nomadic people to journey together.
Thank you.
Sharing of thriving, the people journeying together and us giving our services and like holding that space and being we call it our group. I call it our group about 2 years ago, in a culture caravan, where we started getting different groups and we started getting with different people. And last year we actually had a rotation here of community, traveling to different places of community and setting up schedules and offerings
Jorge,
in parks and
Jorge,
in
I'm
public
going to
parks.
stop you. I'm just going to stop you.
Yeah,
What I want to
Nicole.
do, what I want, would everyone here on this call, would you get your center, make sure you have your grounding cord, make sure you're in your bubble of personal space, and make sure you're in the cube that is this workspace. And if you've already initiated your sword of clarity, would you make sure that you have a sword of clarity in at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hands, and that you're holding your sword of clarity to your teammate's throat? We're a team here. Make sure your gremlin is on its leash.
Yes.
Thank you. And the question is, where are you calling from and why are you here? What is your purpose for being here? Go.
My purpose of being here is to connect with the Next Culture Nomad, and what I mean, and how does that connect with the research and the work that I've been doing and that we've been doing as a family.
Cool. I hear you say you're here to connect, to share your research. Great. And
Yes.
if there's more, say more, and if not, can you pass it to the next person?
Yes. I will finish up with saying that I'm grateful to be here and connecting with others, and that there is a lot there for me. It's been a long journey, and I'm looking forward to seeing to learning more about everyone here and
Thank
about
you, Jorge.
your purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pass it to Jonathan now if you'd like to share. And Jonathan, you gotta unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm on mute now. My name is Jonathan. I'm here because Melissa invited me to something that sounded like a village how-to. So I'm curious to see and hear what's going on.
Great, thank you. Welcome.
Thanks.
Can I share?
Yeah, Melissa.
Hi, can I share as well? I'd like to share.
Go.
Hi, everybody. I'm holding the space of the bridge between the family and space, which is a space of creation for me. And I resonate with being a traveler. And for me, it's synonymous with healing and expansion. And I resonate with the idea that Dor shared, that it's very challenging alone. And so my intention of being here is about how and where, and yeah, that meeting point of who we are and our efforts, and how to create a space where the nomadic can be honored and grow, and village can still be inside of it, and I don't have to exclude my nomadic part while honoring my village part. Where's the harmony? Where's the meeting point between the two? I'm getting messages from Gaia right now to get light and uncomfortable. And this is a switch for me because I was in the feeling of rooting down. And so something in me is telling me it's time to be able to move. And my mission is about creating village and also honoring the part of me that has been a traveler, a nomad, and a healer symbiotically for, I believe, my whole life. Thank you.
Thank
I'm
you,
happy to be
Melissa.
here, and I'm listening even if I'm not in the video.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel so glad to hear so many doorways, and I feel joy because here we are with Dor, who calls his work Doorways to Possibility, and there's just so many doorways that each of you have pointed to where we could go in this kind of discovery exploration call that is, yeah, about being a nomadic villager. And Melissa, what you said about there, it's like there's these two sides. One is the side where I'm landed, I'm grounded, I'm of the land, I am stationary. And Dimitri, you talked about this too. You've just landed into this new project, and it has its own context. And then there's the side that's like always changing, transforming, always ungrounded. And this is to be both of those simultaneously, and to be in the kind of state of one or the other according to the necessity of where I happen to be. This is my ongoing experiment, and my sense is that this is one of the ongoing experiments of being a next culture nomad, to bring my own bubble of next culture with me wherever I go, so that in any space I land, I am holding space for next culture. And also to be honest and radically honest about whatever mess is happening while it's happening. And this requires me to have my conscious anger, my sword, and also my conscious fear, to have my numbness bar down so that I can be honest about, I'm so scared to be here because I'm so scared to use my sword with people in case they react and decide to try to push this role of persecutor onto me. And I am not available to be a persecutor in someone's low drama story. This is over for me. And to bring this is terrifying for me. And I feel so glad that finally, after signing up months ago, the 𝕒𝕟𝕟𝕟𝕜 Fear Club and Fear Club Space Holder training will be some of the things that I'll be zooming into, into these global spaces held by archetypal forces coming through people like 𝕒𝕟𝕟𝕟 and Clinton, and some of you are starting also to hold spaces, archetypal spaces for next culture, to be delivered to the people who dare to come into such scary spaces where there are swords and there are gremlins on leashes, and sometimes gremlins come into this space because that's just how it goes. And it's not wrong, it's not bad. It's experimenting. It's next culture emerging in each of us, first of all, and in the spaces that we dare to go into and create together.
Thank you.
So some of the work that is required, that I can see so clearly and ever more clearly as I continue to dare to own this identity of a next culture nomadic space holding pirate queen, is is to continue to do my own work about, like Dor was saying, going into my underworld, asking for emotional healing processes for every emotion that comes up, doing the process, getting the next experiment, and living in my experiments without turning that off. It's not, this is my life. And there are ways that I do turn it off, or that might look like I'm turning it off. When I say no, I'm going in my room to nourish my bodies in the way that I'm noticing they have pain right now, and I am responsible for nourishing my bodies, and not making other people responsible for how things go for me. This is all part of getting out of low drama and part of decontaminating my child ego state, my gremlin ego state, my demon ego states, and my parent ego state, so that there is room for my adult to emerge and become an archetypal adult. And this is why I want a team. Because like Dor said, I can't do it as a lone wolf. This is so much part of my box too. I have box number 18 of the 18 standard boxes that possibility managers have identified. And this is the actor box. And what this means to me is that all the other 17 boxes, I use those boxes. These are my survival strategies are so complex that they include all the box strategies. I will be the eccentric. I will be the good girl. I will be the inferior victim. Whatever it takes to survive. And I need a team to say to me, Nicole, you're acting right now. Is this your acting box? Is this you going into victim stories? What do you want? Beep, shift, go. I want a team for that. And for now, most of my team spaces are on Zoom, because there are so few Next Culture Nomads actually ready to use their swords and use their gremlins consciously, that so far most of my spaces that I Zoom into are digital spaces. And I feel sad about this. I feel angry about it. And I want to find more Next Culture Nomads in the areas of the world where I am, so that wherever I go, I can be staying with Next Culture Nomads and delivering distinctions, tools, maps, and processes from possibility management. Dor, it looked like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, so what I hear Nicole saying, if I get into the meta level, I hear she speak a lot about like the way you can be. It's like the way she is, or the way, it's like, what are the processes? In what way she carries herself? What is her culture about? So, and when I put that in somewhere, it's for me, that's about the village. And Nicole is the originator of Awaken the Village. So she's basically talking about awakening, how like you and me and her are awakening as a village, like what kind of, it's like everything she said was like, what kind of qualities or processes or things do you carry with yourself? And also I want to, it's like where my mind is going to, I have more of the red brain, kind of like the door box. So where my mind goes is more about where we are going to move around the world. And Nicole just said it, I'm tired of being in front of the computer. I hear it from every person that I meet on Zoom. They're tired of being in front of the computer. They want to meet each other. And my question for you is, what are your steps? What is the steps that you discover for bringing in more people and connecting with people to be with you on the journey path? Because the way I see it is, we can start moving around, and then we have also the space of the evolution of the processes of the way we carry ourselves, like Nicole said, but there is also the path of like what we're going to do together, how we're going to meet. It's like how we connect more people into that. Because for me, if there's one person in Canada and one person in Portugal and one person there, we won't be able to really connect only by Zoom. So how we create this nano nation or village, how can we connect more people into that? And I want to hear from you.
What comes to me right now is that in being here together, this is us each taking a step that was a next step, and that in regard to being here together, there can also be next steps about using this video. And I propose that once we finish this call and I get the recording of the video, that I could send it to anyone who asks for it, for you to share with your circles, especially with other nomadic, next culture, edge working people that you know, so that whether it's me in Western Canada and Jorge, Melissa, Jonathan also in Western Canada, whether it's Dor, whether it's Ďimitra, can start sharing with your circles of people far away and near, so that we each can maybe have the possibility of more spaces to Zoom into with more people and more physical spaces to Zoom into. And I'm saying Zoom, flying, walking, running, driving, into where we can share space with other people who have this purpose. So I ask that you, if you want the recording of this call, to send your email address either in the chat or in Telegram to me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Would you like to go first? Hi, I have something I'd like to add about that. And part of it is a story that I've been for the last 4 to 5 years traveling. And by that, I mean, I haven't lived in a place for more than 6 months. And it's always been within community. And sometimes community has been with just one other person. And sometimes community has been with many other people, like inside of a collective and a couple of families. And what I want to share is that for me, this meeting is a stepping stone that's required to make it possible for me to live, travel, work, create with other people. Because in my experience, what has happened is I have been living in village, and it seemed that 6 months was about the threshold where it all collapsed. Relationships couldn't take anymore. None of us had tools of how to navigate sharing anything of creation, space, time, or projects. Yeah,
who else has this story that I have? It's like what I hear you saying, Melissa, it echoes something I have. I have tried so many times to create a next culture village or a community house or a family or even a partnership. I have tried this and it breaks down. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I walk with this legend. I have this legend. I am the originator of the Awakening House temporary permaculture ashram. This project existed for 5 years, and it went through so many death and resurrection cycles. When I finally declared it, consciously declared it dead and over, and then I lived in the metaphorical ashes of this burnt down space. And this is where I was for a lot of the pandemic lockdown time, zooming into possibility management spaces, and even including going through my first rebirth initiation in that space, and emerged afterward able to go to bigger game worlds, to participate in more dangerous spaces where transformation could actually happen. And this is so much a part of being a next culture creator, is the death and resurrection show happens sometimes in 5 minutes, sometimes in 3 days, sometimes there's a month cycle. And there seem to be so many of these cycles simultaneously occurring where I'm dying, parts of me are dying off, and then new parts are being reborn. And I feel so much joy about this. Thank you for bringing that, Melissa, to this space.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole. And it completely resonates. And also it feels like, yes, it's like the point, like this space right now is exactly that, yeah, for me, something is dying, and what is able to come in, and how am I going to go to the next level? Because perhaps in your ashram and in my experiences, I am doing something that I can't see, and it's about creating village. And also I get to my limit, and then there's a death. And often it's this like breaking of my relations and my projects and my communities. And I feel that it's a death in me. And I feel that this space right now in this way is so important, so that I can, well, for you, you said you had an initiation, a rebirth. And for me, yeah, I have died quite a few times recently through possibility management. And it feels like the gaining of tools so that I can go back into that place of awakening the village within me and my all of my relations, because it's there now and it wants to come alive. And I believe I want to be together with more people. And I also believe there are many things I don't have: skills, capacities, awarenesses in order to be there.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Melissa. Thank you for being honest and saying, I don't have skills, I don't have capacities, I don't have awareness. And I think this is, my actor box, her biggest why an actor box is so limiting is because the act is, I've got the skills, I've got the capacity, I can do it all. And this was bullshit. And this is what was the source for me of the breakdowns of so many of my experiments not working, is that I couldn't be honest, that it was me who I was missing something. And I was so guarded against someone saying, hey, you're missing something, that it took something extraordinary to happen before I was ready to say, hey, I want actual honest feedback and I can take it. This was a whole development that came in the early phases for me. And I want to bring Dor's question back, like into the space again. What are your next steps?
I have a question for the group in regards to the idea of sharing this video with other possible next culture nomads. What would be the place where they go to? How can we, where can they go to find us again? Where can they go to connect with us, or yeah, to connect again with the group?
Thank you. Jorge, I hear you asking for possibilities about creating ways for people who would see this video to connect with the group and maybe with individuals in the video also. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. So I will add to my proposal. So the first one was, if you want a copy of this video, give me your email address and I will send you the file. So you have the actual file of the video. This means that you can do anything with it. You can edit it, you can cut things apart, you can make it into short videos, you can do anything you want with it. And then each person chooses how to put it to the world. For example, I might share it on my Patreon page. I have a Patreon platform, and this is one of the ways that my nomadic adventure is shared with the world, and that people pay me only sometimes a few dollars a month or sometimes more. And this is part of how the financial support for my nomadic nano nation, micro nations, just Nicole. And another possibility is for each of us to share it on our websites or in a newsletter, or even to share it by sending it to people on Facebook messages saying, hey, I was in this call, you might want to check it out, something like that. And these are hints and tips for each of us, and also for anyone watching. If you have a game world that you're playing in, that you want to take a stand for this game world to be known, to be shared, to be played in, to have others come and play in it with you, you need a circle, and you need to be feeding that circle. And a great way to do this is by having a website and a newsletter. A great way not to do it, in my experience and experiments, is just throwing things out on Facebook. Then it's like throwing it on and you don't know where you're throwing it. It's the purpose is what? The purpose is to show that I'm doing something interesting. Maybe that's all. And that to do things with more care, with more fear. Like if I use up my time to send this out on Facebook, I mean, sometimes I still choose to do it because it's quick, it's easy, and something might happen. More and more, I choose to really choose where I'm putting the gold. And, this might end up being an hour-long, hour-and-a-half call. Maybe I'll send it and someone will go, I'm not listening to that. Why would I listen to that? But they might listen to a 4-minute clip of it. So this is another possibility. If someone here has that editing skill and loves to do it, it's part of their archetypal lineage to take video and turn it into tasty morsels that someone will eat, rather than sharing the whole 1.5-hour smorgasbord. Maybe this could be a service to this group, which is maybe a temporary village that's lasting an hour and a half, to create ripples out into the future.
Thank you, Nicole. Jonathan, you wanted to say something? I see you raised your hand.
I heard somebody say that I'm in Western Canada, and I'd like to say that I'm in 𝕨𝑚𝑝𝑙𝑒 territory, that Canada is a racist imposition that has been using the Indian Act to commit genocide here. And I prefer to be in Coast Salish territory or 𝕨𝑚𝑝𝑙𝑒 territory than Western Canada.
Thank you.
Great. I want to say that I heard some of you saying that some things didn't work for them, as building this community or building circles or finding the community to be a nomad in. And I just want to share, we all have so many things that did work for us and so much experience as nomads that really can enrich and inspire people that want to go there. It's a lot of people, they don't even know that it's possible to do stuff like that. And there are some great people that we want as part of this nano nation, Awaken the Village, Game World, together with Nomadica, we want people to be a part of this. And there are some great people that maybe you just share one thing about being a nomad and it's enough for them. So a lot of this is it's not like a missionary work where we want to get as many people as possible. We want to really find those great people that you feel connected to them, you have a heart connection, and it's like, I feel like I want to invite you to the group. So you share something, you tell them like a trick, or like, I learned there are 4 feelings and 5 bodies. And for a lot of people, this is huge. And then you invite them, you say, we have a Telegram group, you can join, we meet once a week, and you can be part of it. And really this can grow, and we can be so many people that if I go to Netherlands or to Germany or to Portugal in 2 months, we can meet there a few people and we can travel together. We can create workshops together. One legend for me is that I did it with Jeff Schaub. I met him in Costa Rica together with Giselle, which was his girlfriend, and we just went out to places that nomads hang is usually, like for example, Salinas, these hostels. And on the spot, we just got there, started to talk to people. They felt this huge space that we carry with us, like this different space. And we just did workshops on the go, like just on the go, like 10 people, and we're bringing Next Culture. We're creating transformation for them. There's so much power when we do this together, like traveling together, and also being a village together. Like that's a huge thing there. For me, that village is more of a part of going deeper on the evolution work and having space for that. Like sometimes for me, it's just one moment. I just need to land somewhere for a long time and go deep on the things that I need to do. And that is at the same time, it's like, it's not either being a nomad or finding a village. It's at the same time, we do both of that. That's what is this synergetic idea that came up with me, Nicole, about Awaken the Village and Nomadica. It's like you can be nomad and have the village to land and have other communities to bring transformation work. So like, I want each of us to come out with it's almost like a magic thing from this, that you can say like, I can go and bring that magic trick and talk to a few people that can get connected to this and make this circle bigger. Thank you.
Thank you, Dor, for that possibility. And I want to share that we met 2 friends at a market a few months ago, and they saw that we're nomadic, and they were inspired to buy a bus, and they're a family with 2 children, and they bought a bus a few days ago, and I feel joyful to send them the possibility of being included in that Telegram group.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, that's awesome that they just bought a bus.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and just had a baby.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
so they're on the edge. Yeah, and
I think,
oh,
yeah, go.
and they need the how-tos, and if we have the how-tos and we can create an environment where we're all sharing that together, they're sharing with me and I'm sharing with them, and everybody here, then I think that can be an extraordinary experience for them and for us, and we'll get a lot from it. So I'll invite them.
Mhm.
Yeah, great. There is something about buses that comes up lately. Like Nicole was talking about it, and then Jennifer Van Dam wants to buy a bus, and I think it's going to be a bus thing. I thought it's going to be a tent thing, but now it's going to be a bus thing. All right.
I want to celebrate right now. I'm taking next steps over the last few days to step onto a bus on April 1st, and hopefully that it's April Fool's Day won't trip my gremlin up. It's called the Dreamweaver bus, and it has been a project that has been created and evolved by someone called 𝕨𝕙𝕚𝕟𝕟, who's a nature art, extraordinary nature artist. And he creates art out of the world around him, and then he turns it into paintings and calendars to share. And he has the Patreon website also, and he and I have become each other's patrons, so that cancels it out. So we each keep a finger on each other's pulse of what we're up to. And he's invited me to go on the Dreamweaver bus to the coast, to Fairy Creek, where there have been a 2-year village of protesters who are taking a stand for the virgin forest there to not be cut down. And I feel joy because not only will I arrive, if this does pan out, as another body taking a stand, I will be bringing Rage Club skills and tools and space so that the activists there can learn to more empoweredly have their center grounding cord bubble, and to be in the small here and now, and choosing with more capacity for radical responsibility how they go, not just at Fairy Creek, but in their relationships, in their families, in the other spaces that they go to, whether in person or energetically even. So this is really turning me on right now. And I also feel so scared about it, because I let Sky know that I'm a catalyst. I have shifted into the identity of owning that I'm a creator and a catalyst, and that sometimes this does bring spaces into breakdown. And this is not an accident. This is more and more conscious on my part. And it's scary for me, because I'm familiar with how it can go when people's boxes start to go liquid and they don't know how to ask for emotional healing processes. And even when they do know how to ask, they are still, their fear is so tight, and it takes a lot of skill and a lot of space to hold that, so that they can keep inner navigating and feel the pain. This is one of the biggest differences that I notice between modern culture and next culture, is that next culture nomads, next culture adventurers, we turn toward, we turn into our underworlds. We move toward, we let the pain get bigger, and we go into spaces specifically for that, to let the pain get bigger so that we can feel it, instead of raising our numbness bars and pretending that we're these numb heroes. And this goes back to what you were saying, Dor, about not being like an evangelist, save the world. Oh, I have it all worked out and I'm here to save you. This is not next culture. This is not radical responsibility.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah, I see Jonathan has his hand up, and I also want to hear from you, Dimitra. Yes.
I'm here about an hour and a half drive away from Fairy Creek. So if you want to stop in for a visit or something, you're welcome. I could send you the directions.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you. I'm not surprised. It's like every time we do this space, there are two people that leave that like are gonna meet soon some way. Like Dimitra now with Casa Fluxus, and she's there now, and they kind of met it before in the space. It's like this context. I see it's gonna happen like this, but imagine that in a bigger scale. Like wherever you want to go in the world, there is an invitation like this. And that's what I think. It's like this transformation people need to have to do this work. This is what I need.
Thank you, Dor. Yeah, thank you for saying that. You said I need this, and I want to say that I'm here in Casa Fluxus, and I'm so scared, and so scared. Like I was thinking to, like, my gremlin is laughing because saying, "No, you're not." But I'm so terrified every minute, and yeah, like, and yeah, being like, I gained some clarity from this call about admitting the fear, and admitting that, like, somehow being here, yes, like, it's so scary, and that is it's like a new way of unnubbing myself. And because until you said that, Nicole, like I was beating myself up. My gremlin used that, like, okay, you are in fear, but you said that yeah, being in a space, being afraid all the time is already a step, and is already a new step. And it wasn't clear for me. Like, now I can see that I can stop beating myself up, and I can have another story, or see with another through to another. Okay, my English not very good. From another prospect. So that was very helpful for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ďimitra. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
and I want to say.
You muted yourself.
Sorry, no, I muted you, Ďimitra. I'm sorry. I thought you were finished and there was some feedback coming. Go ahead and unmute again.
Yeah, I like, and from like and you, like you said, I am in this fear, like the old emotional fear, and I don't have access to the feelings. Like, that was really helpful too. And I'm glad, like, now I can see like I can feel some joy that 2 weeks ago I was in a call, or 3 weeks ago, and with Casa Fluxus, and now I'm here. And I want to say that it was really beautiful to be outside and under the sun, listening to the birds and being together. Even the fear is big, it was joy too.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Ďimitra.
Thank you. Thank you for the space.
I want to say some more about fear. Dor earlier talked about how the context of radical responsibility, what possibility management empowers, is not this woo-woo fantasy world, spiritual, we're all goddesses, and it's not that. And it's not the love and light, no fear, only love. Fear is not the opposite of love. This is a modern culture fantasy world meme that says that it's a good thing to have no fear. Fear is fear. It is a precious resource full of information and energy for creating and going into the unknown. And without fear, love is dead. Love cannot be, aliveness and intimacy authenticity cannot be happening when I am deciding that fear is wrong and bad, and pretending that I don't have it. That is numbness. That is fantasy. That is going to kill intimacy. And this is so scary for me to bring to people, who have this mimetics, no fear, I'm so strong and brave, because I call bullshit. And then I feel so scared that they're going to be like, oh, you're the one full of fear. And then I will say, yes, I am full of fear. As I've been lowering my numbness bar and doing more and more experimenting about having my fear, my whole body is sweating and trembling almost all day long. And I feel so glad about this because I've never been so alive since maybe I was a little girl. And my story is that my whole nervous system is in this crazy healing process of actually letting go of the tight places where I was hiding and storing my fear while I pretended I didn't have it, while I pretended I could handle all of this that I really wasn't handling at all.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing your fear into the space.
Thank you, Nicole. I want to share that I am scared. I feel fear. My fear right now has been from how many beeps I've been getting about what I'm sharing, and seeing that I'm at the beginning of discovering all of these tools and all of these resources. For me, that was a map, like you said, Nicole, about seeing my fear as the opposite of love, and that has been enlightening of how fear is a resource that is there available. And I could feel it in the last two parts that you shared about being in that fear and not raising the numbness bar to feel like you're the hero of the place and that you're gonna like save the place and like you're gonna like bring this community and create this community and you're gonna save everybody. And I see that is something completely different, like opening up to staying there with that fear and letting it get however big it's gonna get.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I want to say what you said about getting beeps. People watching this might not know what that means. Maybe there's an intuitive sense. One of the maps that possibility management offers is the map of feedback. And the premise is that the universe is a massive feedback machine, and that we use our numbness bars in our box to protect ourselves from feedback, especially from beeps that are like, that's not working. But beeps are precious feedback because now we know that this isn't working. And yet, because we all went to school, because we got all this right, wrong, good, bad stuff about doing it wrong or failing or about like negative feedback, that so often this puts us in the swamp. And the swamp is this like murky state where we're saying that the people who gave us the feedback are wrong and bad, and they don't know what we're really about. And there can be so much low drama in this swamp from getting a beep. And that as we let ourselves be in the swamp and ask for the emotional healing processes and heal our way out of the swamp, then we can start to shift into this adult ego state that I was talking about earlier, where when I get a beep, I say, thank you for the feedback. And I choose whether that beep is bullshit or nothing. And whether it's useful bullshit, whether I'm going to take the beep and work with the beep, or whether I'm going to just let my bubble swoosh it to the side and keep going.
Yeah. And Nicole, can I ask you how you decide that?
How do I? Oh,
Maybe it's
yeah, there's so much to it. There's so much to how I have gone so that when I get feedback, it's like my scanners and my detectors, are all giving me information so that I, in that moment, and I'm choosing. And maybe, and then the next moment comes, and maybe I notice I am in the swamp about it, that I'm still in the past and I'm still in some low drama because I gave my center and I have yet to bring it back. I have yet to get my grounding bubble space kind of back. And again, this is where not pretending is so the experiment I'm living in right now.
to choose every moment to space hold.
I am becoming, as I build matrix, as I experiment, as I use the beeps and let myself go liquid, as I get my processes, as I build matrix, I become more able in a moment to consciously choose, because this is what radical responsibility is. This is what responsibility is consciousness being applied. And so the more matrix I build, the more consciousness I have, the more I can apply that consciousness as a kind of ongoing, I become an ongoing, the one choosing from here, from my life.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking.
Thank you. And I want to hear, so we kind of, I feel like I want to wrap this up a little bit, and I want to hear from each one of you, and just like in 1 minute, a celebration of something about it, about being a nomad, or about the work that you find in you, or about something like that.
Yeah, I didn't listen to what you said, like about the word. Can you repeat, please?
Yeah, I said that I want to hear a 1 minute celebration from each one about this being a nomad, or being a villager, or like this path that is opening today, or something that touched you today in this call. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to start, and I feel like a sense of, I feel joy and sadness meeting you here, hearing the resonation or the resonating of the ideas and the resonating of the connection, and I feel like the stepping stone. I want to celebrate this stepping stone that we're doing today of coming together, and Nicole and Dor for bringing us together and for taking a stand for this, and for inspiring me to continue taking this stand and to even do a better job at taking this stand, and to actually start creating the platform to invite others to come.
Are you in college?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jorge.
I celebrate that I own only as many belongings as I can carry with me, and that I'm able to live here at the Ark Land Project and bring resources, including money, to this space to empower it, and that I'm celebrating that I have a codex, that about a personal codex where anyone can go and they can find out the things about me that are the most important to know, and that then they can create a codex too. I feel I'm celebrating that people who I've shared my codex with are also creating codexes too for their personal codex and the codex of their game world, and noticing the distinctions, that the differences between those two. And I feel I'm celebrating that because I'm doing conscious feelings work, that even though I have a 51-year-old body, it is coming more and more alive and radiating with more and more youthfulness than I had in the past as a younger person. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. I celebrate that the love happening, like when Nicole said, "I feel joy," I saw Dor's face, or when yes, when Melissa, she was sharing, like my face was so bright. I didn't know her before, and I felt, oh, okay, cool, I met her, and this, like, you have already an invitation, and so I celebrate this love happening between the people, and yes, and yeah, this is what I celebrate.
Dor, you're mute.
Yes.
Thank you, Dimitra.
Thank you, Dimitra. Your celebration resonates with me. I celebrate the connection in this meeting, and it comes as a coincidence for me as I'm getting messages to get uncomfortable and to lean back into that world of nomad, of not having roots, of uncertainty, of not knowing, which is, for me, is what it is to be like a traveler or a nomad. So I celebrate the connection and the coincidence, and thank you for inviting me. Thank you for holding this space. Thank you, everybody here, for creating it and holding it.
Thank you, Melissa.
I'm celebrating this springtime that all the people who were here before have made it the way it is right now. And now, because it's spring, it's the perfect time to find all of the things that that I've decided I don't want in my life. Right now, they're very small, and it's easy for me to move them on into the compost pile. Later on, if I was to wait till the summer, those things are going to be really big, and it's going to be really hard to move them on. And by doing that, by saying no to all of these things right now while they're really small, it's giving all this space for all these other things that are going to be coming in, that are going to be growing, like strawberries and stuff like that. So I guess I'm celebrating saying no. And part of the nomadic journey is deciding the path. Which way am I going to go? Every time I choose one path, it means that I'm also saying no to some other things.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Hey, thank you. I want to celebrate this team and this call and the people that are going to hear it. And I want to celebrate that my fear about this call, that there is so many doorways and there are so many things that we said that are possibilities to get into and go deeper. So everything we said here is a possibility for something, and I want to celebrate possibilities. I want to celebrate putting some intention and taking a stand for something, and the world kind of make that grow magic like that with magical people. And this is what my journey is about. Thank you.
Thank you, Dor.
Thank you, Dor.
Right, team. So thank you for joining the call. We're gonna upload it and see you in the Telegram group and in other spaces as well.
I have a question, and it's about a Telegram group. And does a Telegram group exist with this context and this intention? And if not, how can we do
exists.
that? It exists? Okay.
It exists, and you're welcome to invite people for it. The game world, the Nomadica Nano Nation is not announced yet, and it's together with the Awakening the Village, so we can use that Telegram group to get to know more people, to be a door for people, to a space for people to come and check that out and feel something.
Okay. So it sounds like the group that exists is still like in discovery, and it's open to others in the context of like nomadic. Is that kind of what it is? Okay. And how can I find that group? Do you know that group?
I can invite you.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm in that group.
That's easy.
The answer is not far from me.
Yeah, right? Just have to ask the question first.
Yes, the magic of asking questions. Yeah, the magic of asking.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Thank
all for
you.
being here.
Thank you, Nicole and Dor, for holding the space. Thank you, everyone.
I wish you each an extraordinary adventure for the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. And thank you, Dor, for holding the space.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye for now.
See you. Thank you.